This is US 29, a highway that runs from Maryland to Florida and ends right here in Pensacola at the intersection of Cervantes and Palafox Streets. It's a main artery in Escambia County and connects communities from the state line all the way to Pensacola Bay. On the south end, there's Palafox Place, a spur of 29 recently named one of the 10 best streets in America thanks to downtown Pensacola's entertainment district. 40 miles to the north, Highway 29 runs through Century, a town struggling for industry and jobs. From one end to the other, it's a road that showcases Escambia County's strengths and weaknesses. We're going to meet the people who live and work along it. Join us as we make 29 stops on 29 to get to know our neighbors. Our trip starts here at the Florida-Alabama state line in Century. This is the first place people see when they cross into Florida. The State Department of Transportation says more than 10,000 vehicles a day cross through here on Highway 29. The town of Century is a welcome center, and for some people, it's their first impression of Florida and Escambia County.
When they come through here, I believe all they see is the 29. They don't see what branches out from 29, who are a part of Century.
In Century, Highway 29 is lined with government offices, a couple of stores, and a hodgepodge of fast food restaurants, churches, and homes. Town leaders have made an extra effort to give the area a facelift, working with the county to demolish dilapidated buildings and putting grant dollars to use, sprucing up homes and parks. But jobs and businesses are few.
Well, you can't judge a book by its cover, you know what they say? Well, whenever you're coming down the highway, you're judging Florida by the first thing you see.
The population is around 1,700 and dropping. The poverty rate is more than 40%, double what it was a decade ago, and unemployment is nearly 20%. The town has lost industry, jobs, hospitals, and schools, but not hope. Many are working hard to keep it alive. 19-year-old Natasha Suggs is studying to be a nurse practitioner. She's one of a growing number of students signing up for classes at the Century Center, a branch of Pensacola State College that opened 2 years ago. She loves her hometown, but once she graduates, she wants to move to Pensacola.
You have the Whataburger and the Dollar General, but if you're looking to make a living that's going to be substantial for you and a family of more than one, you probably have to move elsewhere in order to accomplish that.
Suggs works hard to succeed. When she's not studying, she's working at the local nursing home or volunteering at the free medical clinic. She also catches the ECAT bus several days a week to take the classes she can't get at the Century Center. She waits at the stop with others, including families who are also headed to Pensacola. That's where most go for work, medical and social services, even shopping. Suggs wants a different quality of life.
I want my children to be introduced to more things, so maybe like violin lessons and things early on, and it just works out better if you don't have to travel an hour to get them to all of their activities. I do want to continue to help my area in Century. I'm just not sure if I would live in it. It depends on how things are 10 years from now.
According to a recent economic development study, the town's population is expected to drop below 1,500 within 5 years. Many people like Suggs are leaving to find opportunity elsewhere. It's no surprise to longtime residents like Steve Crawley.
No jobs here. Basically, most of the young people, they grow up in the area, they have to go somewhere else for jobs.
Crawley lives across from the old Alger Sullivan sawmill, the reason for the town's name and existence. It was built at the turn of the 20th century and ran for nearly 60 years until the company sold it. Various businesses later ran the facility until the doors closed for good in the 1980s. Terry Owens worked here when it was Jim Walter Doors.
When me and my wife first got married, that's where I worked. Actually, I lived in one of the old mill houses. I just walked down the road to go to work and walk back, for lunch. And it was all good.
Now the biggest employers are the Century Correctional Institution and the Century Care Center, a nursing home. But the jobs and wages don't fill the void left by the old mill facility, which sparked the town's original economy. Although Century has one of the lowest crime rates in the county, the loss is taking a toll.
Most of the folks around here, the young folks around here, think selling drugs is the best way to make money. They walk the street all day, no jobs to be had, so they do what they know to do.
If jobs were Century's lifeblood, then its schools were the heart. Now they are gone. Carver Century K-8 was the last to close in 2009. That's where PSC is now. Many students are excelling at the new schools, but the distance is a problem for some parents.
Now our children have to go 14 miles to go to school. Most parents in this area don't have a vehicle, so if the child gets sick, they got to get somebody to take them, to pick them up. We don't have a bus system that's adequate, neither taxi service, anything, so they're paying out the nose to get somebody to take them somewhere.
It's now harder for parents who once walked their kids to school to stay involved, and for children to have extracurricular activities like sports. For decades, the entire town rallied behind the Black Cats, the school mascot.
I graduated from Central High School in 1992, and we had Black Cat Pride because everyone from Central was a Central Black Cat. Well, we no longer have that symbol. You know, us as the older generation, we can try to pass it down to the younger generation, but there's no reference point for them because they've never seen it.
Crawley remembers playing football at the old Century High School.
I'm a Black Cat all the way, that's true. And I miss those days and missed hearing the bands and the noise and the sounds that goes along with the football games that we used to have here. You could hear it through the community as things were getting ready, the cars coming in and that type thing.
Now the stadium is silent, the bleachers empty, and on the football field there's only grass. The entire community is still mourning the loss.
It may have been small, but it was our school. Jackson. W.
Pamela Townsend helps run the Campfire Century Youth Learning Center, the only daycare in town. It opened in 2008, giving working parents, especially single moms, a place to bring their children for childcare and voluntary pre-kindergarten. Some walk their little ones here from the nearby public housing apartment complex. Transportation, childcare, and access to services is tough in this rural community, especially for those with little money. Townsend says the struggle often leaves parents here feeling like Escambia County's stepchild.
We need things also. We need a lot of what they're doing down there. We need them to branch off and come down this way, up this way, and see who we are and what we are.
Century does have its challenges when it comes to childcare and other resources, but there are people working to make a difference, and we'll have their stories in our next report.